Real Events.
And I am Michelle, the little sister.
Now, she said last time we did a show that she was going to get her,
That's enough.
Okay. She said she was going to do better. But anyway.
Yeah, okay. That's
this weekend has been so amazing. Sisters of Leisure put on their first annual pop-up shop, and it was wonderful. We had some great vendors there. People came and shopped. They all supported one another. It was absolutely wonderful. This is only one of the many pop-up shops that we're going to do, and we're super excited to have all the vendors that we had on Saturday.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was.
Yeah. Okay, so all right, so let me just tell you, I'm excited because we have today Tasjae. You know what, and I said it earlier. Do you know what? I said it right. But
Tasjae.
I'm sorry, Tasjae Hubbard. So Tasjae is a doll. She's a Mish Dollhouse. She's a Billboard plus size model. She's a life coach. She is a domestic violence survivor. She is all around absolutely beautiful. I'm so excited. Thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
I am wonderful. I'm just so happy to be here.
You know what? It's an honor to have you come on because, first off, you're part of the Mish Dollhouse, which is to me. I mean, when I say it feeds me, it gives me, it brings me joy every week, and so it's just a blessing to be a part of a group of ladies with you involved and everybody who's a part of that dollhouse, that empowerment group, that modeling agency. It's just, I mean, if you don't know now, ladies, look her up. She is, it's the bomb. It is truly the bomb. Anyway, but so I know you affiliated through that. And so please let us know about you and your story and your business as a life coach, as a model. Like, you are all around doing it. So feed us. Tell us how we can, get that energy.
Okay. Like you mentioned, Mish Dollhouse, I will say, has been very instrumental to Misha's success. She's been very, very instrumental in my push, in cultivating me, just allowing me to just grow, grow into who I am, continually becoming. I've always been that person who's been into becoming confident, knowing who I am, and just being a part of that organization has definitely done a number. It started last year. I had applied to be on the top 4, to be a part of the Royal 8. And I did make top 40, but I didn't make the Royal 8.
Yeah.
And what I did
hold on real quick. So those who don't know, that's a modeling agency, that's a billboard that the dollhouse that we were part of, that they do. And it's beautiful, it's lovely, all plus size models. They give me so much life. We're the, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so basically it's like she said, it's a contest that you do to make it onto this billboard. And not only the billboard, but just becoming a part of something just major. Empowering other women to be empowered. And so I applied to become a part of that Royal 8 who would be featured on that particular billboard. And like I said, I made the top 40, but I did not make the Royal 8. And it hurted. It really did. Because let me back up a little bit. It was prophesied to me that I was going to be on a billboard. And so when I saw that particular opportunity, I'm like, this is it, God. This the billboard right here. Yeah. So I applied for it. And so of course my expectation was that I'm going to make it, and so I didn't make the Royal 8, which was the top 8 people to go actually on that billboard. And so because of that, I'm sorry. And because of that, it should have caused me to want to give up, not become part of the company. Like, it totally detoured everything. And it didn't. I used that as an opportunity to just do some self-development. I researched what these women did to become a part of the billboard. I just totally started diving deeper. I got my own little group. Let me stop saying little, because I hate that word, putting little on stuff.
I know that's right.
I started my plus size group and just started working. I just started grinding. I started using the gyms that Misha was giving us and just totally just trying to build myself. And so this year, it came around again. And I was thrown into this chat group. And I'm not even sure how I ended up in that chat group, but I ended up in there. And these ladies were so excited, like the energy just, yeah, I apply, I can't wait, this and that and the third. And I'm just like, I ain't applying, but I stay in here because y'all are throwing some gyms around in here. So I stayed in there, and I'm gonna tell you, the night before they were announcing, the night before the deadline, God spoke to me and told me to apply. It was like probably 4:00 in the morning, and God said, apply. I had no intention of applying at all because of what happened the year before. I got my expectation up, didn't make it. And, I'm just like, whatever, So God said, do it. There was no problem with finding the money to apply. Literally, it was just like, go do it. And so I did it.
Yeah.
And then we all decided, because of the energy that we all had, all of the ladies that made the top 30 on that one, because I made the top 30, and then all of us decided, okay, we're going to watch this together when it was time to figure out who's going to make the top 12. So we did a Zoom call, energy there, everybody's just excited. I'm excited, but I don't have an expectation this time.
Yeah.
No expectations, no disappointments is what I've learned.
Yeah.
And so we sat around, we watched this time, and they were like, Latasha. I forgot my name was Latasha for a minute. My biological name is Latasha. And so when they said Latasha, I'm like, they're talking to me? And I made the Elite 12. But the thing about it is we can't just get discouraged when we get a no.
Yes.
That's my story. Not giving up on no, because no is not always that final answer.
Mm-hmm. No means not right
figure
now.
Out what you did, whatever you have to do to educate yourself, cultivate, do some self-development, whatever you have to do. And also hearing the voice of God and recognizing when he's telling you to move. You have to be in position when he says move, so that when it's your time, it's your time, and you don't miss your opportunity. Because I almost missed my opportunity because, baby, I was not going to apply.
And see, that a lot of times that happens. We get so hurt and caught up in our own feelings that we miss out on the opportunity that is right there in front of us, because we want that. Yes, we want everybody to support. We want this, that, and the other, and that's not how God does things.
Yes, absolutely.
He wants us to hear from him. He wants us to trust him in the journey that he's putting us on.
That's so true. That is
all
so
the way
true.
Trusted, like no doubt, like just go.
You have to know when you hear him.
Yeah.
When he's telling you to move, you have to be willing to. When you give God your yes, you have to be willing to move with that yes.
Yeah. I love that.
That's cool, because my brother spoke about today having the keys. God gives us the keys that we need to go forth and prosper or whatever it is that we need to do. And sometimes we block our own selves, and we already have everything that we need.
Yeah.
But we block it because of that doubt or that whatever,
That's right. That's right.
And I know that's
everything we need.
That has to be like, because like, okay, coming from a woman who had to deal with some type of abuse, that has to be hard. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a whole, boom, boom. That's a whole like.
Absolutely. The thing about it is, when you have been in that situation, number one, it affects your self-esteem.
Yeah.
It affects who you feel like you really are.
Yeah.
But if you haven't been in that place, or you haven't had your self-esteem devalued, if you haven't, if it hasn't been devalued, then you don't know what it feels like to go from down here to up here. Having that esteem, going up, having your worth go up. And I'm happy for what I went through. I'm happy that I went through it and that I came out of it, because there are women who are in those situations, don't know how to get out of it, or don't make it out of it.
Yeah. So that was like a total learning. Like you wouldn't take that learning experience. back from that.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely. And you used it for positive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. And they work hand in hand. I was doing some research and I found out that a lot of the times why people even abuse other people is because they don't know their worth. They don't love themselves. And so they act out in those ways because of it. And so I believe that's why God has me so connected to pouring out into people. I have also a self-love journey I have to teach tonight. And so I'm teaching a 21-day self-love journey. And in that class, we're learning to love ourselves and learning to, figure out what relationships are toxic and what we need to cut out.
Yeah.
And that is going to help the person going through domestic abuse.
Yeah.
That is going to help the person prevent from connected to people who are toxic. And so they work hand in hand.
Like, I'm gonna just say this. I don't know if it has anything to do with what we're talking about, but I just had to say it because it was like a learning lesson for me today. I was in a drive-through and there a couple of cars went by and got their orders taken in the other lane. So I'm sitting there like, hello, And so another person got their order in. And I remember in my past, I'd be like, just going nuts over a burger and fries. But I realized that there's an other way to deal with something. So guess what? I parked my car, got out, went in, placed my order, got my food, and left. And it was the best.
There's always another way.
There is always another option.
Yeah.
And I just learned that today. It just hit me really heavy.
In the drive-through, right? I mean, that light bulb said bing right there.
It did. I said, there's always another solution.
There is. Yes, there is. That's right.
Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
It's a learning curve, that's all.
That is crazy. So like, I've always wanted to know, like, how do you, as a person who's never been through domestic abuse or violence, how do you, what are you to look for? How do people identify and encourage others to, if they are being in an abusive relationship, what to do? Like what to, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does that go for someone saying, hey, you're in an abusive relationship, or should anyone do that? Like, how does that?
One thing about it, they are going to want to get out of that for themselves. We can talk about it. We can tell them they're in it until we are purple and blue in the face. But until a person really, really, really loves themselves enough first, because you have to love you first, because the decisions that you're making are connected to if you love yourself enough to walk away for your sanity, for your peace, for the love of you.
Yeah.
So what are the red flags? I mean, that before you even get involved in that, how can you identify the red flags of a person that has abusive tendencies?
Number one, if it's controlling. It's not always physical abuse. Abuse can also be, like I said, controlling the money, controlling what type of friends you're connecting with, preventing you from being around your family.
Yeah.
Things like that too. The words they're saying to you. And mine was more so verbal abuse. I was in the verbal abuse. I was in controlling the money, giving me money, taking back the money because you want to go out and spend it on drugs. I was 18 years old. Dealing with a whole crackhead out here. But I didn't know it. And we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah. You're right about that. And then at that age, and then when you in a mental state of not really truly knowing you and loving, you see, that's why I really do feel that our society kind of like gives romance and marriage and all this stuff a false narrative. I personally believe that. I'm like, dang, I was wanting this relationship and ain't have that. Really, Michelle? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
You really, you know what I'm saying? I look at things differently now, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when I, you know, younger, that really does take, you know, I see the growth from when I was 18 to now, and like,
Right.
whoa, you know what I'm saying? So that's deep right there.
Yeah, life itself has to teach you that, you know, if you don't already know, it's life that teaches you that. The things that we go through, you know, it's either going to teach you or you just going to be stuck in the same thing. But you have to be strong enough. And like I said, you know, love you enough to just say, you know what, I can't do this no more because this decision this time is for me.
Yeah.
You know, I've been doing everything else based upon you because of the control, because of the fear. You know, my thing was fear. I was threatened that you're going to kill me if I leave you alone. 18 years old. It's like one of my first boyfriends, really.
Yeah.
You know, and just out of fear.
How long were you in that relationship?
About 3 years off and on. Yep, about 3 years off and on. Like I said, he was on drugs. I didn't know. You're 22, 23 years old. Who do drugs that early? To me, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like, we're young. What's drugs? You know?
Yeah.
And I just didn't know that that's what it was. And so some days were good days, but when he got that piece, then it's like, you're a whole nother person.
And so it's kind of hard to talk to your family about stuff like that too.
I didn't. I didn't talk about it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did they know though? And
they didn't know. And the thing about it is, honestly, I didn't even identify it as domestic abuse until last year. I didn't realize it because it was verbal, and then sometimes he would like mush you in the back of the head, mush me in the back of my head. And so because it wasn't like a physical punching and black eyes and all the stuff I got to cover up, I masked it for so long. That was, 21 years ago, just about.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that that's what it was. And someone else may be, in that same situation or have experienced that in that manner and not even realize that, you're a survivor.
Yeah, they're in that.
Yeah.
It's good that you took your power back. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because it does strip you of your identity, who you want to be. You don't even have a clue at this point because you're just being told this or told that.
Yes. And you invest so much of you into that person, what they want you to be, that you don't have anything left. So like you said, you don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
So what kind of coaching do you provide for men or women?
So I do, right now I'm doing it by phone, just because of COVID and everything. And so we are, like you said, I do the self-love journeys. It's a 21-day process. Statistics say that 21 days it takes to make or break a habit. And so we are diving deeper into self. We're going by this. I have a workbook that we use, and we meet every day for 21 days in a platform like this. 21 days pouring out into these women or men. It's open to either or, just to learn how to love themselves. We're taking activities. Some days we're writing a letter to our younger self, that age where it was most traumatic. And it's hard to deal with traumas, because we've been complacent. We put it in the back of our head and everything. And sometimes you just forgot about it. So some days it's a little harder than others when we're in there, because you have to dive deeper if you want that change, if you want to get back to yourself. I tell them, you might run away, you might want to walk away, you might want to just be like, Coach, I ain't even coming back. But the more you continue to come back, you'll see change.
You see, you have to really chisel away. Like I spoke earlier, you have to chisel away your pain. And it's painful.
It is
when
painful
you are
to do that.
Absolutely.
It's like, ooh, this hurts. But it's
so we don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Instead of putting a Band-Aid over it all the time, because we could put some Band-Aids and we so mummied up and we have it's better to just go ahead and do it.
My coach told us, when I was in coaching training, our coach used to tell us, if it still hurts, it hasn't healed. And I believe that.
That's true.
It hasn't healed. So that means you still need to deal with that.
Yeah. So how can someone get in your coaching class? Like what do they need to do? Do you take insurance? Like how does that go? Because do people make referrals to you? How does it go?
Okay. So I don't take insurance just yet. Maybe you might be speaking on something to come.
Okay.
But right now,
well, let's talk. Yeah.
Yes, right now I am doing intakes. I am open for additional clients, and always open for the 21-day self-love journey, which is separate from just like actual coaching from me as well. And I have a website. It's thefablabcoaching.com. thefablabcoaching.com. And you would just go to that website. You can click on intake, and it's going to take you through the process of setting up an appointment. We'll do an initial consultation. I will give you some probing questions to answer, shadow work that we can do to figure out what area of coaching is necessary for you, so we can get you started on this journey.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny or anything like that, but do you think the church and self-care go hand in hand? What have we missed between the church, the building, and loving yourself and being great in who you are individually? Because we all are different.
Yeah, we are.
We're not the same.
So I've been a lot of people's admins, I will say, in church. And one of the things one of my former pastors told me was that I was so passive. That stop being so passive. And I'm a PK, grew up in church. It's a pastor's kid for those that don't know. And so church was pretty much my life. That's all I knew. I did what PKs do too, but church for the most part was all I knew.
So wait a minute. So PK is a pink hat, right?
What did you say? Is a pastor's kid.
Oh, pastor's kid. Okay.
Michelle, really?
Kid, yes. You know, they say they're the worst ones. That's why I said I did what PKs do.
Okay. A pastor's kid.
Yes.
Okay.
So pretty much church was my life. That was pretty much, what I did. But what I feel like church is missing is teaching girls and boys how to be wives and husbands. Teaching us, the tools that we need in order to go forth as women and going forth as men. We teach how to serve. We teach how to love God, but I don't feel like we teach those things. And that was what I was missing. That's what my ex-husband was missing. I had to teach him things.
So yeah, I get that. I do. I get that. But I think there's a disconnect when it comes to teaching us about who we are as individuals, as a sovereign being, and knowing who we are and how to connect to our, and not just, what I'm saying? But, what I'm saying? I think once we learn that, we learn really what love is and how to connect. You know what I'm saying? How to really get in love.
Right.
So basically what you're saying.
There is no an individual thing. It's more so you need to be holy. You need to be a woman of God. You need to live, upright, but not as your human side. So I get exactly what you're saying. It's necessary. One thing I do know is the coaching company that I'm connected to, we have spiritual coaches as well. And a lot of people don't think that that's necessary to have in church too. But I believe it would help with things like that you're mentioning. Coach is a part of the church, because now we can touch on that human side as well. You know,
Yeah.
we have
Go
the
deeper.
pastors, we have the prophets, we have, you know, all of these, but where's the people that are going to touch, you know, on the real life issues?
Yeah.
You know?
Who we are and how we
Yeah.
love ourselves in order to
how to
really
become.
do that. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. 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 That's really good because like Michelle was saying, you know, get to know yourself. And then I like how you said, teaching us how to be husbands and wives, because all of us, we desire to be with someone.
Yes.
You know, we don't want to be all by ourselves. I mean, you can choose that. Some people choose, some people don't. I don't know. But you know, so it's like you want to be taught these little life journey tidbits.
Absolutely.
So then that way you have a better understanding.
You don't have to go through some of this stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you can see your parents, they've been together 50 years, but then she cuss him out one day.
Right.
You know, she got that. You get what I'm saying?
That's right. One of the things I will mention is it was hard for me to give love, especially in my marriage when I was married, because I didn't see it exemplified growing up.
Yes.
I had a 2-parent home. Like I said, my father was a pastor, mother the first lady, but I didn't see them, you know, that whole hugging, kissing, telling us they love us. And so when I got married, it spilled over into my marriage. Mm-hmm. Those same things. The same thing just spilled over. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I had to learn to love me for me, so that I can be able to love someone else.
Yeah.
Hold on. Did Larry get clicked off?
I don't know. But how can we get in touch with you again?
Yes.
On the websites.
So it's thefablabcoaching.com. Mm-hmm. TheFablab coaching.com. And my belief, my formula is that fear ain't beating me. That's what the Fab is in Fab Lab Coaching. So
fear ain't what?
Fear stops us from reaching a lot of our goals. Fear stops us from doing a lot of things. And fear won't beat you in the Fab Lab. I'm sorry, it just won't.
I know that's right. I loved it.
It won't.
Yes. So you heard it.
Go ahead. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram under the Fab Lab Coach.
Okay, the Fab Lab Coach.
Yes, ma'am.
And see, you know, this is just such a blessing. Like you said, fear ain't beating me.
Yes.
It's like that stops a lot of people from really progressing because, what is that fear thing? Mm-hmm. You have to really get out of that.
Yes. It ain't real.
You have to realize what your it is. What is it that is causing you to fear moving forward?
Yeah.
So that you can get in front of that it, and it no longer is your obstacle.
Yes. Yeah, because that fear, it is something, Lord, it's a lot of people, Lord. I just pray that they break that cycle of fear, Lord, in the name of Jesus, because it is horrible.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
You know,
and a lot of times it's been placed there because of what people have told us. Somebody told you years ago that you are not worth it. You're not enough. Wow. So you have to figure out, where did that happen? When did that happen?
Yeah.
That's an
obstacle. And who did it come from to say that, and that they're not, you know, to pray that they heal. You know?
And who do they think they are anyway to tell you something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Who told you this?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we just want to thank you, Tasjae. Please follow her. Go on. If you feel like you need some coaching and you can relate to Tasjae, please go on her website, thefablabcoaching.com.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thefablabcoaching.com. See what services she provide. Follow her on Instagram, Facebook, the Fab Lab Coach. She is a plus size model. You don't have to be skinny to be fabulous. Okay. So ladies, if you're interested in being a plus size model, there are lots of avenues. Tasjae knows, Michelle knows. You know, be great in who you are.
Yes.
And don't let nobody tell you you're not.
Yes.
Thank you, Tasjae, so much for being on Sisters of Leisure. We really, really appreciate you. And I hope you all have an amazing...
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes. Come back and see us again and again and again.
I will.
Yes, absolutely. So excited
Thank you
for
so
you.
much, ladies.
And so
Yes,
what's going on in
thank you.
October? What's going on in October? We didn't tell them what's going